What's up, everybody that's coming in? I'm just pinning a comment real quick. Please stay tuned to this live. It's going to be a very interesting topic today. Um, so give me just a second and I'm going to get started. It's going to be very interesting, very interactive. Excuse me. Today we're going to be discussing um, prepping for anal sex. Even though I'm not the best person to really talk about this because I don't do this, but I think in general I got some great information and I'm going to share some stories and things of that nature, and hopefully I can get some people to open up and share some stories about their experiences. Four, 439. What's that? To make an appointment. Okay, there we go. Okay, Whitman-Walker. So we can go ahead and get started. Good afternoon. Okay. During the past few months, Whitman-Walker Community Health Department has expanded its outreach efforts to social media platforms. We cover various topics about HIV and STI sexual health practices, access to care, social determinants of health, public health interventions. The community health team is here to educate and support you, everybody. Hello, everybody. My name is Corey Haskett. I use he, him, his pronouns, and today I will be discussing prepping for anal sex. So, first and foremost, I just want to basically start off with how I came up with this topic. I know during sexual education in school and high school, they never talk about anything when it comes to LGBTQ sex. They do not discuss anal douching. They do not discuss, protective measures and everything else. They don't discuss any of that stuff. So I remember back in high school, there was actually a kid that was openly gay. I wasn't at the time, and during class, the person asked, how come you're not talking about, or how do you have sex? Like me being gay, I don't have sex with a girl or whatever. Because for the most part, the only thing they basically were teaching us in school was basically to use a condom or don't have sex at all, which is not realistic in the slightest extent. So, yeah, that's my first experiences when it came to the whole thing about prepping, or knowing that you had to do that, because I actually didn't know. I didn't know how gay people had sex. I thought it was just like a thing, like you just did it, and if it happened, it happened. I didn't realize there was an actual process to preparing yourself to bottom, or to engage in anal sex. I didn't know that there was an actual process until that very moment. I actually thought it was kind of weird at first, and I didn't fully understand how the concept worked, I guess. I didn't really get okay, cool. All right, well, let's get into it. Using the right water. Tap water is fine if you aren't using it every day. If you douche too often with tap water, you can cause an electrolyte imbalance that using normal saline would prevent. So that's a number one thing. I know a lot of people in the community. I have even heard people douching on a daily basis, and they're using tap water on a daily basis. That's not good because of As you just heard, using tap water on a daily basis can cause an electrolyte imbalance inside of your rectum, which is not a good thing at all. It'll cause all different types of problems. Um, Avoid it if you can, but if not, always easy. It's not always easy to do so. So of course, you might not have saline on hand. There actually is a way that you can create saline solution at home. I believe that it is salt and hydrogen peroxide. Let me look this up. That's actually good information that needs to be known. So it is actually if you bring a pint of water to a boil, allow it to cool. Add 1/4 teaspoon of salt and 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder will create a saline solution that you're able to use if you don't want to use tap water when it comes to anal douching. Um, and absolutely do not use olive oil, bleach, alcohol, or anything else that you can find under your kitchen sink. These things can cause significant harm to your butt. Like, so people, I've heard like weird stories about people saying that they like put like weird stuff in their bottle when they do it. Do not ever do that stuff. You want to have saline solution, if not tap water. But if you want to somewhat avoid trying to use tap water if you're doing this on a regular basis. Um, I know you. I know you aren't running a cooking show show at home to make your own normal saline, but I did just give the recipe for it. The people that are just coming in, it is a pint of water that you bring to a boil, allow to cool. Add a 1/4 teaspoon of salt and 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder, and it will create saline solution. Baking soda, not baking powder. Excuse me. Where was I? Using the right type of liquid to clean your butt is very important. Your body maintains a delicate balance of electrolytes to function normally. If you use the wrong liquid, you can cause imbalances that harm your body. One of the safer liquids to use in your butt is normal saline. This is a water mixture that has the right amount of sodium electrolytes to match that what is in your body. So basically, you want to always use anything that you're ingesting inside of your body, like anally or in your nose. You want to use the actual pH level that your body has, or the electrolyte level. Tap water doesn't have it, so that's why it says that if you are using tap water, you don't want to use it on a daily basis when it comes to anal douching. You can get this stuff in a saline fleet enema, or you can also make normal saline at home by combining what I already told you guys. And while you're pouring the water, be sure to check the temperature. You can't overemphasize this one. The mucosal lining in your intestines and colon is much more sensitive to the temperature than the skin on the outside of your body. Excuse me. Um, you may be able to tolerate a hot shower, but you'll burn your insides if you use the same temperature in an enema. Test the water temperature first with your hand, and turn down the temperature until it feels lukewarm. Very, very lukewarm. You don't want it past anything of lukewarm when you're doing this. Then turn the temperature down just a bit more. That's what can go inside of your butt. So you want past lukewarm, not even lukewarm. When you're doing anal douching, you don't want the water to be past lukewarm. You want it a little bit further down. Get the right equipment. Okay, you got the water right and the temperature right. Now you need to get the equipment right that can go inside of your butt. You've got a few different options if you're looking for the right douching equipment. Here are the options that I know about and recommend for each of you. Fleet enemas. A fleet enema is a small bottle that is filled with saline solution. A lot of people have been known to dump this out. This is not correct. You should use the solution that's inside of the enema. They also have a pre-lubricated nozzle tip. So this is amazing for anal douching. You want to make sure that it's lubricated. Even though it is small, it can cause tears. Micro tears at that are they actually make you more susceptible for an STI infection. A shower shot. Some Nothing says that you're a prepared bottom more than installing a hose on your shower to rinse out your butt. These require you to be extra careful with your douching. It is very easy to have the water pressure on too high or have the water too hot. If if you choose this option, be very careful. It is also very easy to have the water too hot, which can cause you to burn your insides, like we were talking about it in the beginning. An anal douche bulb. If you walk into your favorite porn store and you see a box with some muscle porn star holding a a big douche bulb, these have a reusable rubber bulb that you can fill with your own homemade normal saline, like we were talking about before. They are convenient, but many of them have a hard plastic nozzle. Use lubrication on the nozzle for safer insertion, of course. A baby mucus sucker. So, like the little booger suckers, some people have been known to use those as well for anal douching. It might sound a little bit strange, but they still work the same way. You want to just use them to suck up the saline, lubricate them, and use the same process. Okay, and get your butt ready. Don't be a rude top, of course. Just so it's all about foreplay. Don't ever just feel like, just again, like I was saying, just because of it's a small tube, they can cause a lot of irritation and tears, and that's not what you want when it comes to anal sex. You want to make sure that you're being very, very careful back there. Um, Even though the tip of the douche may be small, some of them are bigger. You still want to properly lubricate them and use them carefully. Okay, so after the process of you filling the bottle, you lubing it up, and you sticking it into your butt, you want to get into certain positions, um, as well as do not like just flood it into your anus. You want to take your time and go slow, because of the water pressure. If the water pressure is too high, it it can possibly also create tears. Sorry, my word document is down. Don't douche too much. Again, you don't want to overdo it. If you have the right water, the right temperature, and the right equipment, you can damage the lining. If you have the right water, the right temperature, and everything else, you can still damage the lining and your butt if you are doing it at too higher of a frequency for getting an infection for your partner. So basically, if you're doing your anal douching too much, it can still cause irritation. There's no magic. There's no magic number of times that make douching unsafe. But if you can limit yourself to a day or only 2 to 3 days per week. So basically, you don't want to be doing this every day, regardless if you're using all of the right equipment, if you're using the right saline solution, if you're using the right water, and everything else. You still don't want to be doing this every day because it is a process that it still changes the pH level of your your anus. Give yourself time before sex. This is very important. Most of the water will come out of your butt right right away, but don't expect that you'll be able to have sex right after douching. Allow some time for all the water you squirted inside of yourself to come back out. Stay close to the toilet, of course. You might need an hour or so to make sure it's all out before you're ready for sex. Use this time to clean your place, take your PrEP or HIV meds, or get your lube and condoms if they're a part of your sexual health plan. Don't use laxatives or other bulking agents unless you need a laxative to treat constipation. Do not use laxatives as a way to prepare for anal sex. Laxatives irritate the lining of your intestines, and they'll give you abdominal cramping, which can end up ruining sex. Also, they might just end up forcing more poop out that wouldn't have came out otherwise. So this will make the process a lot more strenuous, which you don't want to happen. Which you don't want to happen. Be reasonable. Poop happens. I think it's time that we all realize and acknowledge that if you're having anal sex, poop is going to make an appearance sometimes. You don't have to go to the chocolate factory without getting you don't want to go to the chocolate factory without getting a sample. I've heard countless stories of people who bottom and have a bit of poop show up, only to have the top basically say sex is over and get out. The bottoms are the bottoms are made to feel dirty or ashamed, and it just isn't right. It's like farting during sex. It happens. My advice is don't keep it in your pants and douche in moderation if it makes you feel more happy or prepared during anal sex. So let's talk about getting down to the business. Step one: foreplay. If your anus too is too tightly contracted when you first penetrate, you'll run the risk of being teared, like it being tore, or damaging your sphincter. You want to make sure that you are relaxed, and this is some ways that you could do that. It is very important to relax your anus before penetration using various foreplay techniques, and keep your anus relaxed and well lubricated while bottoming. Toys represent an excellent way to prepare and relax before intercourse, but they can easily cause trauma if incorrectly used, and even spread infections if they're shared. Passing them back and forth between partners without washing them can spread STIs. Be careful to be careful too that the toy is not larger than your partner's penis or strap-on. If you are new to anal, start small and work your way up. Opt to softer latex toys that are less likely to cause trauma. I don't recommend butt plugs that get wider than the base. If you exceed, if you decide to use one, make sure that you're careful. Make sure that you're careful that the wide base does not tear your anal muscle fibers. Rimming can provide some lubrication and help the anus relax more before sex. That said, rimming can put both partners rimming can put both partners at risk for STIs, so be careful. Dental dams can be used to prevent these. Step 2: condoms. Adequate water-based or silicone-based lubricants and condoms offer the best protection during anal sex. Excuse me. As these lubricants reduce friction during the action and won't degrade the latex condom the way oil-based lubes can. We discovered this in our last live. Do not ever use oil-based lubes. Oil-based lubes are going to tear the condom. Condoms are the best barrier against STIs, as we know. Yes, condoms provide the best protection during anal sex. Make sure that you use condoms. Um, if that's a part of your sexual health plan. But while using condoms, do not use oil-based lubricants. They will degrade the condom, which will cause breaking, and a risk for STIs will increase. Step 3: penetration. After foreplay, lubricate the outside of your anus and your partner's penis. It is important not to stimulate the bottom's penis while attempting penetration. During penetration, if the bottom's penis is stimulated, he is likely to experience I don't know what this word exactly is, but basically it's a reflex. When you stimulate someone's penis, it makes their anus contract. And while you're trying to put your penis inside of them initially, that can cause them to tear. Gently allow penetration to the point of minimal discomfort. It can be more comfortable for the bottom to control penetration by sitting on their partner's penis. One second. Sorry, I was boiling the water for some tea. Gently, so let's go back over that last part. Gently allow penetration to the point of minimal discomfort. It may be more comfortable for the bottom to control penetration by sitting on their partner's penis. Within a minute, the sphincter shall relax and the penis will slowly insert fully. Once the sphincter is fully relaxed, intercourse should not be painful, and stimulation of the bottom's penis will no longer cause difficulty with intercourse. If pain does arise, make sure you should check into what's going on and maybe discontinue sex. Okay, so let's cover a few things about COVID-19 before we leave. Everybody, if you already got vaccinated, congratulations. You've taken a really important step to preventing yourself and loved ones from the illness. The Delta variant is soaring across the United States at the moment, and it is totally understandable why you might want to keep wearing your mask. The vaccine isn't 100% effective. More contagious variants are spreading, and there are very few protocols in place to actually verify that folks around you are vaccinated. Keep on staying alert. If you haven't been vaccinated and you're looking for an appointment, Whitman-Walker Health has COVID vaccines available. I don't know what's going on. My computer keeps dropping my Word document. Whitman-Walker Health has COVID-19 vaccines available. Everyone ages 12 and up are eligible for the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine, and everyone ages 16 and up are available to receive the COVID-19 vaccine. Please reach out to us at 202-207-2480 to make an appointment. If you're having any trouble making an appointment with us, for DC residents, you can find information for COVID-19 vaccine walk-up locations and eligibility at vaccine.dc.gov or by calling 1-855-363-0333. Track the speed of COVID-19 vaccination lines by visiting coronavirus.dc.gov/don't wait. For Maryland residents, learn more about the Maryland vaccine distribution process and schedule a vaccination appointment at covidlink.maryland.gov or by calling 855-634-6829. If you live in Prince George's County, visit the vaccination registration portal here. If you live in Montgomery County, visit their vaccination registration portal here as well. Or call 240-777-0311 to schedule an appointment. For Virginia residents. Learn more about the Virginia vaccine distribution process and schedule a vaccination appointment at virginia.vaccinate.gov or by calling 877-829-4682. If you haven't been vaccinated and you're not looking for an appointment, please continue to follow CDC's guidelines for mask wearing, quarantining, social distancing, and the like. It is very important that you get the vaccine. Discuss COVID precautionary measures with those around you. Be mindful of masks and keep your distance, especially when you don't know whether the person has been vaccinated or not. Remember to follow us on IG, Facebook, and Twitter at Whitman-Walker. Check our website out at www.whitman-walker.org for the most up-to-date information on our services and more COVID-19 resources and general Whitman-Walker services. Please call us at 202-797-4439. Follow some of our programs and Whitman-Walker family at Real Talk DC _ and No Filter DC. Thank you all for tuning into this live. More topics will arise. I will be here every Tuesday at 1 and on Fridays with my colleague at 6.